Okay, good morning. Hello, hello. Let's get going. We ready? Kick your feet to the width of the mat. We're going to sweep the arms back. There she is. And we're going to crowd out the chest. So now while you hold this with your arms nice and long, I want you to just give me a little bit of a hip hinge. So you're sticking your butt backwards and you're keeping your chest nice and proud, which means you're feeling the erectus spinae muscles that run along your spine. Keep feeling them. Make sure you're pulling in the stomach. And now we're going to bring the arms up. Take them as high as you can, keeping the hips nice and stable. Your arms are reaching really long. And now let them down, crowd out that chest. Big deep breath. Reach those arms up. And then exhale, let them come down. And then one more time. Big breath in. And then exhale, relax. Now you're going to bring your hands to your thighs. You're going to really hip hinge here. So you're pushing all your weight backwards. You're not in your toes at all. You're just going to come down halfway. And we're just going to hold on this spot for a second. Focus on pulling in the belly. And see if you can get your legs completely straight. So it should feel stable because you're offsetting some of the weight with your hands on your thighs. Keep the chest proud. Take a big deep breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to slide your hands down your legs, maybe to the beginning of your shins, just below the knee, and hold on this spot. Keep trying to shift your hips backwards. Big deep breath. And as you exhale, slide down even more. Make sure you're letting your head go now, so you're just looking through your knees. Maybe your hands are on your ankles. Still shifting the weight back, keeping the legs straight. Big deep breath. As you exhale, do a full pull. So now I want you to take your fingertips to the floor. Completely unweight the upper body. Now shift your weight back and walk the fingertips forward. So it's a stretch for your side body and the legs. Again, you want to be mindful to always keep your head in a place that feels good for your neck. Now, from here, we're going to inhale, look up. Your weight is going to shift forward. So you've got it all in the toes. And then exhale, shift all the way back again. Inhale, come forward, look up. Exhale, take it back. And one more time. Inhale, look up. Exhale, take it back. Let's bring our feet in so they're hip width apart. Bring your hands just in front of the feet. Let your head go. Now, one hand at a time above the knees. You're going to help yourself come back up to standing. There you are. Big deep breath. Really try to reach the arms as long as you can and take your gaze and look up. And now we're going to do a slow swan dive all the way down. From here, you're going to inhale, look up. And then exhale, fold back down. Inhale, look up. And exhale, relax. One more time. Pick it up. And then blow it out and relax. We're going to take the arms and cross them. So you've got nothing helping you support that torso. So just think about breathing here while your head is relaxed, your neck, completely unweighting the torso. So breathe so big that you really feel the back expand. Okay, let's take the hands to the floor. We're gonna walk them out to a full plank here. So take the hands forward, step your feet back. Let's just make sure we've got our shoulders over the wrists. And we're just gonna hold on this position for a breath. So big, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, pull it to a down dog. Now work hard to get your heels to the floor. So you're pushing the heels down with a straight leg. Let's come back to plank. Big deep breath. Exhale, you're back in that down dog. Make sure through your peripheral vision you can see the sides of your arms. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, back to down dog. Now let's just take the knees and bend them. Give me a pretty good size bend in them. So you're feeling a stretch in the front of the foot. So they're probably about 6 or 8 inches from the floor, the knees. Now we're going to lower them a little bit more. And a little bit more. And now put the knees down. You're going to walk your hands back in so the wrists are under the shoulders. And we're going to do some cat-cows. So round your back, let your head go. So important. Now, if your heels are splaying out to the side, pull them in, because you can probably see them. Now, flip it around. So sink into the chest. Take your gaze forward. It's all about engaging the belly here. And now back to your cat. Pushing away from the floor with your hands. Shift your hips back a little bit just to get a little more release into your lower back. Now drop into the shoulders, take your gaze, look up. And one more time. Round that back, push away from the earth, shift the hips back a little bit, maybe even a little bit more. Keep pressing the belly in. Now come back forward to a neutral spine. We're going to come off the knees just for a breath. And then we're going to meet in a small downward facing dog. So both heels are easily on the floor now. Push those legs straight. Just hold this for 3 breaths. Really try to expand the rib cage. Nice. Now walk your feet forward to the middle of your mat. Your hands back to your feet. You're going to inhale to a flat back. Your legs are straight. Shift your hips back. Reverse swan dive all the way back up to standing, nice and slow. Reach for the ceiling. And bring your hands to heart. We're going to step our left foot forward and our right leg back. But make sure you've got both your heels down on the floor. Now, if you really want to challenge your balance today, you take your right foot and step it in like you're on a tightrope. Okay? So your stance between the front and back foot's pretty narrow. You're going to slowly, with both legs staying straight, just slowly start to lean forward. You go as slow as you need to go to feel stable and to kind of enjoy the ride, right? This feels good in the back of that front leg. Now, if you feel like your torso is parallel to the floor, take your hands onto your shin. You should be able to reach it. Keep your hips nice and square. And just breathe. Now let's take the hands a little bit lower. I still have my back nice and long. I'm not hunching or rounding, flexing. No flexion yet. That's coming. We like to ease into this. Okay, so now I'm going to take my fingertips to the floor. I'm going to round my back and I'm folding over that front leg. My head is just hanging out, enjoying life. Big, intense stretch for the back of that left leg. Keep it straight. You can take your palms to the floor. Go ahead and do that. Try not to weight into them, so you're not offsetting any of that weight from the torso. Okay, we're going to come up the same way we got down. So I want you to inhale to a flat back. Take your hands back to the bottom part of the foot or shin. Hold with your spine in extension here. Focus on getting your balance. Bring the hands up a little higher up the leg. Take the hands above the knee. And now you're standing up. You're going to take a nice big deep breath. Sweep the arms up. Nice. Bring your hands to heart. Step your back foot forward. And we're just going to switch and do the same thing on the opposite side. So you can either have a big space between the front and back foot, or you can tightrope it. Makes it more interesting. Okay, here we go. Nice and slow on the way down. Once you feel that torso is about parallel to the floor, take your hands to your shin. Hold on this spot. Try to relax the feet. Take it down a little lower. Keep your spine long. Fingertips to the floor. You're going into spinal flexion, folding over that front leg. Let your head be nice and loosey-goosey. Just breathe. Really puff out those rib cages. Palms down if you can do it. No weight into those hands though. You're just chilling. Okay, let's get back on our fingertips. Inhale to a flat back. Hands back onto your leg. Come up slowly, take them above the knee. Try to keep that front leg still straight as you slowly bring the shoulders over your hips. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I lost you there. I don't know what happened. Okay, thanks for your patience. Take a nice big deep breath, reach it up, and then bring your hands to heart, step your back foot forward. Big deep breath, feet are hip width apart. Reach up, try to get taller from the top of your head. You should also be feeling, because you're reaching everything up, you're lifting up through the hips. You should feel a nice stretch through the transverse abdominis muscles. Hold on that spot, but while you hold here, keep pulling the stomach in. Now we're going to hip hinge. You're going to take your torso parallel to the floor with your arms by your side. Palms face the floor. Now take the arms out to the side like an airplane. See if you can lift them a little higher. This feels like work, at least it should. So you're trying to raise them. Now shift your hips back. Let's weight into our heels. Keep our legs straight. And now with your palms facing, you're going to pull the arms forward. Hands are still a little wider than shoulder width. Keep that belly in. And now fold all the way down. Palms to the floor, step back, you're in plank. Now from here, without putting the knees on the floor, if you can, we're going to come down onto the forearms. So I'd like your elbows to begin to be right under the shoulders. Now we're going to lower the hips to the floor, and you're going to come onto the tops of your feet. So now this is a big stretch for the belly. You're still pulling it in. I know I sound like a broken record, but nice little stretch for your low back here. Proud out your chest. You're looking forward, and you're on the tops of your feet. So your legs are just relaxing. Let's take a few breaths here before we leave. Big deep breath. Blow it out. Do it again. Okay, we're going to slowly take the chest all the way down to the floor, but I'm going to have you walk your hands forward. So take them really wide. Your face is off the floor. I want you to tuck your toes under. You're sort of making a Y with your body. So you've got the hands reaching off the mat but forward, if that makes sense. Make sure you're holding your neck, your head in a position where you're just looking straight down at the floor. So your neck is long, but working to stay off the floor. Now from here, I'm just going to have you roll onto the top of that right hand. Just roll it over and then roll it back. Do the same with the left. Roll it over, roll it back. Now walk the hands in a tiny bit closer and do the same thing again. Roll onto the back of the hand and then back to the palm and switch sides. Walk the hands in a tiny bit closer. Do it again. Roll onto the hand and other side. And now walk the hands back to your chest. Your toes are tucked under. You're going to lift yourself up with your knees down on the floor. But just keep the toes tucked under because we're not here for long. Just hold on this spot, spread out the chest, look forward, push away from the floor. And now from here, pick your hips up slowly while you pull in the stomach and slowly start to shift them back so they're over your heels. You're going in super duper slow motion. Once you've got them just over the heels, see if you can walk those hands a little forward and try to lower the chest towards the floor. The head is up. You're still challenging those neck muscles. Just breathe. As you exhale, your chest might be getting a little closer to the floor. Okay, let's take the hands off the mat over to the left side. We're doing our famous QL stretch. So you're not sitting on your heels, but you've got a lot of space between your hands, bigger than shoulder width. Shift those hips straight back. Don't let them go to one side. So right now, if your hands are off to the left, you're stretching your right QL muscle. Trying to feel this right above the waistband of your pants. Okay, let's walk the hands back onto the mat and let's do the same thing on the other side. Please don't shift your hips. It's just the arms that come off the mat. Reach them out, walk those fingers, and enjoy. Take nice big deep breaths. Both arms are straight. The forearms are not on the floor because you've inched those palms a little further out. Okay, let's walk them back. Come up onto all fours. Let's round the back, look at your knees. Now, come back to a neutral spine. Come on to the tops of your feet, so get off your toes, and let's just have a seat on those heels. Grab a towel for your forehead. You're gonna put your forehead down on the mat. Relax your arms any way you want. Take 5 big, huge breaths. Okay, come on back up. We're gonna do our 90-90 stretch because it is so good for you. So however you want to get into the position, you're gonna have your right foot forward, your left leg back, get a 90-degree angle. So your knee and your hip should be in one line and your knee and your ankle in another with your foot flexed, okay? So that's the front leg. The back leg, your knee and hip, knee and ankle, exactly like the front. Now, see if you can sort of shift this left knee a little to the left. Take your hands out in front of your front leg and slowly help yourself lower the torso. We're not rounding the back. And then come back up. So you can limit your range of motion on the first few. We're going to do 10 in total. So once you're a little more familiar or comfortable, you try to go a little deeper. You try to depend less on the arms and more using the strength of the torso to go down and up. And to advance this pose, you can bring your hands to heart and then lower without helping offset any of the weight in the torso. Makes it a much more intense stretch. Really good for your hips, your lower back, your glutes. One of my all-time favorites these days. I try to do this every day, and it makes me feel so much better. I always hear a lot of popping when I come up, which is fun. It's not hurting me. So don't worry about that. Okay, assuming you've done your 10, you're going to take your hands to the side. Now, try not to have your whole body weight go to the right. Just pick up that heel in the back. Even if it doesn't lift off the floor, just sort of get that activation going and then release it and start again. We're going to do 10 of these. And again, if you don't need your hands, you don't need to use them. Okay, now lift the front knee up and down. Up. Just do 10 times. We got this. Okay, now we're just going to flip it around, however you do it, face the other way, and do the setup the exact same way. And I forgot to mention on the other side, if it's more comfortable for you to put a towel down, do it. But let's make sure your butt is all the way to the left side of your mat. So you've got space for that right knee to hopefully be on the mat too. So fingertips out in front. Try to shift this right knee out before you start. Let's come down with your spine nice and long and then back up. And just do that a few times, like 10. You limit your range of motion as you need to, right? There's always progressions. So if you can, try not to depend too much on your hands. Bring them maybe to heart, keep going. And if one side is way harder than the other, that's very typical. We have so many imbalances in our bodies. We tend to be dominant on one side. Okay, so once you've done your 10, let's get that heel coming up and down. And again, try not to use your hands. You just want the activation on the outside of that hip. And if you can now, lift that knee up. Hands are still at heart if you can do it. Nice. Now take those legs, flip them back around. You're going to extend them all the way out. And we're going to do a nice full body stretch. So Pilates style, come on down. Please keep that belly in. Take the arms all the way back behind you. Clasp your fingers together. Now, while you're in this position, I want you to try to sink your rib cage. Bend your legs a little bit, get onto your heels. Now give me a pelvic tilt and get your low back skin on the floor. So you bend your legs as much as you need to get the low back on the floor. Now, once you're there, this should feel like work for the six-pack muscle, right? Bring the arms up and between the legs, or as far down as you can get them, and then back up and hang out here again. Take a breath or two with your ribs nice and low. And then bring the arms forward. You still have that pelvic tilt that you're holding on to. Take the arms back. Hold on this spot for a few breaths. Bring the arms forward. And take them by the side of your body. Extend your legs all the way down. Get nice and flat on the shoulder blades. So right now your low back is not on the floor probably. You're going to bend your legs. Give me a big bend in the legs. Give me a big pelvic tilt up. Now take your feet a little wider than hip width. Keep that pelvic tilt. Let the knees fall down to the right. Let them go wherever they want to. And then bring them back up. Take them down to the other side. And bring them back up. And just sort of roll side to side. Feeling this through the glutes. Top part of your glutes getting a nice little massage. Okay, now we're going to bring the knees into the chest. You're going to wrap your forearms around your shins and touch opposite elbows. Lift your head so you're tucking yourself into a small ball. Hold and breathe with your belly pressing down. And then release it. Your head goes back to the floor. Now we're going to bring our arms inside the legs. Take hold of the outsides of your feet for a happy baby stretch. Heels to the ceiling, knees down towards the floor. Low back skin on the floor. Nice deep breaths. You can add a gentle rock to massage your lower back a little bit. Nice. Now, put your legs back down on the floor, feet are hip width apart. You're going to take your right ankle and set it up on your left thigh for a figure four stretch. We're starting out without the use of the arms. Please take that right knee, push it forward, and lift your left foot off the floor. Get a little tug of war going. Use that right foot to try to push the left leg forward And then use the left leg to try to pull it in closer. Take that right knee, see if you can move it forward. So much to do. Okay, now we're going to use our arms to help us a little bit. So take them either onto the hamstring or your shin, whatever's closer. Help guide the left knee in even closer. Really important though to keep the right foot flexed. Now, release the hands. Take the left foot back to the floor. Keep the right leg exactly where it is. Your arms are off to the side at a 45-degree angle out from the body. And we're going to take the right knee down to the right side till it gets on the floor. And now we're going to take the left arm straight up to the ceiling and take your left arm all the way back behind you. Spread your fingers wide and see if you can let that thumb just tap the floor. Bring the arm back to the floor, bring the legs back up, and we're doing the same thing on the other side. So left foot over right thigh. No use of your hands to start. Left knee pushes forward, right knee comes into you. Create that little tug of war. And now when you're ready, grab hold of the leg. Try to pull the right knee in even closer. Okay, release, put the right foot down on the floor, arms out at a 45-degree angle. Just let that left knee go all the way down to the left side. Take the right arm up, spread those fingers wide, reach it back. Bring the arm back to the floor, bring the knees back up. Release that left foot. Stand your legs all the way down along the floor. Arms all the way back behind you with your palms facing. Nice. Now rotate the palms to face out. And then rotate them in. And just keep going. Just a few more. It's good for your shoulders. Okay, so now I want you to make a field goal. So your elbows are down on the floor with your palms up. Let's make sure our elbows are right at the height of the shoulders. So take your face and sort of look both ways to see if you've got them in the right position. Now, take the back of the hands off the floor and move them forward without rounding your shoulders. So you decide how far you can go and then take them back down. Once you're down, slide your hands backwards. Try to keep the palms on the floor. See how far you can go back. Maybe you can connect your thumb and index finger and then slide the palms back. So you got that field goal. And now you're going to move the hands forward. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Back of the hands down. Slide the hands along the floor. See if you can get your thumb and index finger. And this is not about forcing anything. We're just trying to improve our mobility. Lift those hands back up. Bring them forward without rounding the shoulders. It's not a competition. Take them back. Slide them back. One last time. Bring them back. Hands up. Palms face. Take your arms all the way up over the chest. Clasp your fingers together. Take the arms back. Keep your ribs nice and low. Just hold on this stretch. So the arms have no bend in them. They're nice and straight. Okay, bring it back up. Now you're just gonna take your arms and give yourself a big hug. So you got your hands back on those shoulder blades. And then open the arms back up and cross over and give yourself a hug the other way. And then bring the arms by your side. You're gonna step your knees in. Cross your right knee over the left. And bring your knees up and into the chest. See if you can hold on to the tops of the feet or the outsides of the feet and pull them in towards you. If you can't reach the feet, use your shins to pull in towards you. Trying to get a nice stretch on the outside of that right hip. Okay, release the hands from holding the feet. Put the feet, well, the right foot anyways, back down on the floor. So let's not have such a big bend. Your knees are still crossed, but you're walking the foot out so you don't have that much of a bend in the legs. Now you're going to use your right leg to help you guide the left knee towards the floor. And take your left arm straight up to the ceiling. And then out at a 45-degree angle from the body. Taking this stretch all the way over the left hip. And your chest. So be mindful not to let the left knee get down on the floor, but use the right leg to push it towards the floor. Now play around with the angle of the arm. Maybe you move it a little more towards the back of the room. Takes the stretch for me a little bit higher up the hip. I don't know if it does that for you, but it sure feels good. Okay, let's bring the arm back, uncross the legs, and then lift them back up. We're going to take them both back into the chest. You're going to make a little massage with your knees together for your lower back. Go the other way. Nice. Now take the feet back to the floor. Your legs are bent. You're going to cross your left knee over the right. You're going to bring your knees into the chest. Hold whatever you can reach and try to figure out a good stretch for that left hip and glute. I'm always so tight when I do this. I just love doing this. So let's try to stay here at least 20 seconds. Just breathe. It's all about patience, right? You have to have a lot of patience to get through all these stretches. They're so good for you. Okay, let's release. Put the feet back down. Not such a big bend in the legs. Slowly guide them to the left. Right arm straight up and out at a 45-degree angle to start. Keep using that left leg to guide the right knee down. Nice big deep breaths. Play around with the angle of the arm. Maybe it goes straight back. Reach the arm as long as you can. Okay, let's bring the arm back up and back down onto the floor. Uncross the legs and then lift them back up. We're bringing them back into the chest, only this time we're going to do that happy baby again. So arms inside the legs, take hold of the outsides of the feet, heels up, knees down. Enjoy. Don't forget to breathe. Okay, release the legs. Bring those knees into the chest. You're gonna rock yourself up so you're in a seated position, and we're gonna take our feet nice and wide. So we're just gonna sit up nice and tall, no rounding of the lower back. Slowly begin to hip hinge, keeping the feet flexed. In fact, take your feet and try to turn the toes to face the back of your room. Just switching up the angle a little bit. Gives you a bit more of an intense stretch through the inner thigh muscles. So just walk the arms out. Doesn't have to be far. What's important is that you feel the stretch. See if you can go a little further. We still have not rounded our back yet. See if you can inch them a little further. Now, if you can lower the elbows to the floor and go into spinal flexion, let your head go. So now you're rounding your upper back. Okay, come out of that spinal flexion, lift up through your chest so your spine's nice and long. Walk your hands back. Now you're sitting up tall again. You're going to bring your feet in so they're back on your mat. We're going to do the same thing walking forward. Excuse me. You can also use a towel, wrap it around the bottom of the feet, and you can use that towel to help you lean forward without rounding. So just go as far as you can. And when you can't go any farther, we're going to round down. So let the head go, let the upper body release, and just hang out here and breathe. 5 big, huge breaths. Okay, walk yourself back up. You're going to take your right foot and bring it in, either by your lower leg, by the knee, or by your thigh, whatever feels good. This left leg is a little bit towards the edge of the mat, your foot. Now slowly walk forward with the hands. Now, while you're walking forward with the hands, take that right knee and push it down towards the floor, just using muscle. Lower your forearms, round your back, let your head go. Okay, lift back up, walk back in, switch sides. So right heel towards the right side, left leg comes in, get nice and tall, walk it down. Now really try to press that left knee down towards the floor. Once you've walked out as far as you can and you feel like rounding, just let the elbows relax to the floor. Nice big deep breaths. And lift back up off the elbows, walk those hands back in, bring both your feet in. You're going to come up onto your toes and hold on this spot. Get as high onto the pads of the feet as you can, keeping the heels in. Don't let the heels splay out to the side. Just hold here, pull those knees in towards each other, And now with your hands down, come into a nice full forward fold and then cross at the elbows. So you're completely unweighting the upper body, getting some good blood flow to your face. Stay here for a few breaths. Nice. Now bring your hands above the knees. You're going to come out of this nice and slow. Take a nice big deep breath. Reach your arms to the ceiling. And I thank you so much for your power and strength. Great job.